In Las Vegas radio host show, Heidi Harris, a radio show host. Heidi, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Hi. Good morning.
What's your take on the election so far? How would you assess things?
Oh, listen, I can't figure out this Trump thing for anything. I really can't. I'm a very solid conservative, and I don't get it why some of my conservative friends are backing him. Not that I don't like the guy. It's not that. It's just that he's not a conservative, and I don't understand why any conservative would back him. I know they're disgusted. I know they're tired of being lied to by politicians, and they're tired of the establishment. I get that. But you still have to, elect somebody who's actually going to be a good president, and I just don't get it.
You know, it's interesting, David, because even when he's asked specific questions, he just doesn't really go into specifics.
No, he doesn't.
Feels like the people don't really care. They don't want to necessarily get the specifics.
Well, no, here's what he's doing. He's projecting strength.
Yeah.
We've had 7 years of weakness from Obama. We've had weak leadership from the Republicans. Boehner has been ousted. Cantor has been ousted. The, quote, young guns are broken up. People have looked at government and elected officials that have failed.
Yeah.
They haven't risen to the level of leadership. Trump comes into the vacuum. You leave a vacuum, which the Republicans have done, and he projects strength. Whether you agree or disagree with him, he's projecting strength.
You're right. Dagan, you agree with that, right?
He is. Jerry Seib has a column in the Wall Street Journal today talking about this, that these Trump supporters are less ideological. Connell McShane was down in South Carolina over the weekend. He said they don't talk about the issues at all. It's like he's strong, he's going to take charge. Certainly his supporters are more populist than the traditional Republican voters in recent years. I will point out something very, very telling about Donald Trump and his ability to lure even more people onto his side. The fact that Rudy Giuliani has come out publicly and said, I talked to Trump on the phone, that it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
I tell him when I think he's overstepping. He called that.
So why do you think that? What does that tell us about Trump?
I think that Trump in the coming weeks, and he's kind of tipped his hat to this, he's going to be revealing slowly people who he sees as great advisors. Maybe people who will be part of a Trump cabinet, maybe people who will be part of a Trump White House.
Wow.
And I think that Rudy Giuliani is a very interesting Republican, but he's certainly beloved in terms of him being a mayor here in New York City.
What do you think about that? Would you envision a place for Giuliani in a Trump cabinet?
Listen, I think a Trump cabinet would be fascinating, wouldn't it? The people he would pick, at least they wouldn't be the same old, right? Why not Rudy Giuliani, for heaven's sake? And the thing is, he's probably going to do very well in Nevada today because we love a good show. We're all about that in Vegas. And he's obviously got roots here with a hotel here and that kind of thing. So the circus continues. It's so unbelievable to me.
Wow. What about what's your take on the Ted Cruz story, firing a spokesperson for the false news story targeting Marco Rubio? Listen to this. I want to get your reaction.
This morning, I asked for Rick Tyler's resignation. I had made clear in this campaign that we will conduct this campaign with the very highest standards of integrity.
And, of course, the Trump campaign lashed out at Cruz, calling him a liar. What are your thoughts?
Calling him a liar again. It was interesting. I was at a Ted Cruz rally yesterday here in Las Vegas. It ended about 2 in the afternoon, and there was no mention of that at all. And this was breaking. They must have been doing this behind the scenes in the morning. They didn't mention it. I think he did the right thing. I think that ultimately, when you're running for office, you can't control everything that goes on. You simply can't. And when something bad happens like that, heads are going to have to roll. I think he did the right thing in firing his campaign manager.
If you look at this, Heidi, in context, you've got Trump. There have been retweets of things. Nobody's been fired. Look, I've known Rick Tyler a long time. I've known Rick over the years. Solid guy, worked for a lot of different people, done a great job. He retweets something. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened in the background with the Cruz campaign. I don't think any of us can claim that. But it's odd to fire somebody over a retweet when he's actually I would put him in one of the top-ranked guys out there for running in campaigns. Cruz has faced his challenges, the dirty trick in Iowa, the fact that he has something being looked at by the Iowa Secretary of State for the letter, the mailer that was sent out, the voter violation, because it mimics an official document. So he's got to do something right now to reset on the honesty. And the liar, whether it's true or false or whatever, the liar attack from Donald Trump and to some degree from Rubio has been affecting his campaign.
Can he do it?
I think that's true. It's true.
What do you think?
It's very
Can he
true.
do it, Heidi?
I think that he's going to have to keep fighting that, but I think getting rid of Rick Tyler, I don't know Rick Tyler, but Senator Cruz said nice things about him, but ultimately it may not always be directly your fault when things happen, although it looks like it was in the case of Rick Tyler.
Yeah,
and ultimately you've got to make these decisions, but he's got to have to shake this off, and to David's point, this has stuck with him for a very long time, and Trump continues to repeat it, liar, 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 and it sticks.
Tony Dwyer, any impact to markets so far? I mean, it feels like the uncertainty is just part of an overall uncertainty that these markets are facing, but do you think this is part of it?
It's a real dampening effect. I mean, when people look around at the choices and the uncertainty, as Dagan said, you're not sure what Trump's policies actually are. So how can you possibly make an investment opinion of how you're going to act if he's president without knowledge other than building a wall of his policies? Right. And then you take the other side of the trade with Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, and you're just scared to death to move on top of China and all the other headwinds we face, Maria. It's really, I don't want to say it's a negative effect, but it's a dampening effect on enthusiasm in a market that's already been spanked.
I just want to add something, that the fact Rick gets fired by the Cruz campaign, it shows that none of these other politicians can compete with Donald Trump in terms of his communication, right, in terms of the way that he uses social media. They foul up and somebody gets fired. Trump fouls up and he goes, I don't care. It's a retweet. I didn't say it. And people go, okay.
But that's that brash, bombastic approach that says, I won't put up with what you want to throw at me. And I agree with you. It's just kind of, okay, it's Trump.
It's a retweet.
Well, it's actually entertaining. We're sitting here laughing on the set. Remember when I was on the show one time and we did... You gave a Trump thing our name on the internet, and it spit out some kind of offensive, like you put in my name, you put in somebody else's name,
right.
And it spit out some kind of...
It was like the insult generator. The Trump
that's what it was.
Right.
It's entertaining, and that's unfortunately what it is.
Oh, my God. All right, wow. All right,
that's what it comes down to.
Heidi, we'll keep watching. Well, good to get your insight. Thanks so much.
Thank you.